So the 2-star dungeon Voidwastes has a lot of similarities to the 1-star dungeon Void Wasteland. It's the same location, same bosses, but just with some advanced mechanics. So let's see what are the changes here. Now the 2-star dungeons have one major difference, and that's that the end bosses not only have fury attacks, so the pink circle attacks, but now also have wrath attacks, which is signaled by this pink diamond. So they work exactly the same. It's just important that you can block fury attacks with a stand block or a movement block. But a wrath attack you can only block with a movement block. It's just something you need to get used to. Okay, so the boss has 4 major mechanics. The first mechanic will be constantly there throughout the boss fight. So there are in total 6 pillars in the arena. From 3 out of the 6 pillars, a laser beam will be directed onto the boss. It will be either pillar 1, 3 and 5 or pillar 2, 4 and 6. For each second the laser beam is hitting the boss is constantly gaining stacks. As soon as the boss has 30 stacks, everyone in the arena will die. So what you have to do here is you block the laser beams that the boss is not getting these stacks. But now you are getting those stacks. As soon as you have 30 stacks, then only you will be dying. Okay, but if you are not in the laser beam, then your stacks slowly go away. So since there are just 3 laser beams, 2 people can always handle 1 laser beam. So both of them can always block it for a little bit and gain just some stacks before the other mate is taking over and the other one is again reducing his stacks. So 2 players always on 1 laser beam, always swapping who's blocking the laser. So this mechanic will be there all the time. Okay, so the next mechanic you already know from the standard version of the boss. And that's the red orbs which spawn over the player's head. It will always spawn over the person who's the furthest away from the boss. After a short time the orb will disappear. This means in this moment you drop the red orb under you. You should immediately run away from this position because shortly after on this position a huge black hole appears. And this black hole will pull everyone into it. So you get the red orb over your head, then you run away from your team, you wait till the red orb over your head disappears and run back to your position. After the boss is below 30% HP, he will spawn 2 red orbs instead of 1. So exactly the same as in the normal version. Okay, the third mechanic starts when all laser beams stop for a short moment. At the same time some yellow lights in the arena appear where you of course shouldn't run into. Because if you run into it you will get some damage and will also be stunned. Okay, now the closest person to the boss is now getting a yellow orb over his head. And additionally 2 out of the 6 pillars have now also a yellow orb over them. The player with a yellow orb over his head can, similar as in Void Wasteland, control now the breath attack. Now it's not a purple but a yellow breath attack. But now the players not only need to survive the breath attack, they also need to aim to the pillars with the yellow orb. So the player with the yellow orb positions himself in line with one of the pillars with the yellow orb. Again, similar as in a normal version, there's again a moment where the boss locks his position. This time he's not lighting up purple, he's just lighting up a little bit yellow. Shortly after then also the yellow orb is disappearing over your head. Okay, but in this moment he locks his position. And the player should run into the direction of the second pillar. Because again the breath will follow the player and this way he can just destroy the second pillar with the yellow orb over it. All other players just try not to get hit by the breath. But of course they can keep doing damage. For each pillar you miss with a breath attack, the whole group will get additional damage. Now if the boss is again below 30% HP, then this mechanic comes 2 times in a row. And the last mechanic he is not doing in every run. I think it depends on how good your DPS is. If you have a low DPS, then he will do the mechanic. If you have a good DPS, then he will skip the mechanic. Okay, so what will happen here is that every one of you will get a yellow orb over his head. After a short time, this will deal quite a bit of damage to each person. You can't block the damage or ignore it or whatsoever. So you just go into the middle of the arena and then the healer can either precast some shields or heals everyone right after the mechanic, and then this mechanic shouldn't be dangerous at all. There's only one more thing that I have to mention. So there are these yellow areas on the ground, but they are not really special. They deal some damage when you step on them, but that's about it. You just go away from them and then you're fine. They also let you know when certain mechanic starts, but it's really not important here. So just don't stand on them and you are fine. Okay, that's it. I hope everything was understandable. If you have any questions, don't hesitate and ask me in the comment section. If you liked the video and want to support me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see ya in the next one.